so mad there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
it bad, I
looking
don't
at
know.
the
My rap, my
youngest
blood
and
boils
fastest
over like,
rising star
oh God, here
in
goes. I
professional
lost all
wrestling
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you had shut the fuck up real bad. Shut up.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the BX Sports Jedi Network brings to you the most tantalizing, up-and-coming new podcast of the wrestling universe. It is the Heel of the Ring NXT edition with BX Sports Jedi Kev and my co-host, The Samurai, and we are the Heel of the Ring podcast, the NXT edition. Samurai, what is up, my friend?
Not a lot. Just sitting here chilling.
All right. It is Wednesday, and of course, last night, the NXT 2.0 edition, the June 14 edition, Heel of the Ring NXT edition, where yours truly was in attendance for the next 2 weeks. And of course, for everyone that's seen us on the video podcast form, you see the video picture of the BX Sports Jedi giving the salute right behind none other than Grind. And let me ask you this, Samurai. Are you ready?
Am I ready for what?
Are you ready?
Of course I am. Let's do this.
All right. And if you ain't down with the Heel of the Ring podcast, I got 2 words for you. Just subscribe. Now, let's break it in. Of course, the June 14 edition of WWE NXT 2.0 was all about opportunities. Of course, the young talent wants to prove themselves against the established champion. Of course, we have a 6-man tag later on in the evening. Settled was Mandy Rose, Gigi, Dolin, Jayne, better known as Toxic Attraction, taking on a trio of ladies. Of course, our breakthrough winner, Roxanne Perez, Indi, Hartwell, and Cora, Jade for later on this evening. Now, it looks like we're having a tag team forming in Cora, Jade, and Indi Hartwell, looking to maybe some down the road, dethrone Toxic Attraction. But we shall get into it when we break it down. We'll have both types of, and we'll go with the very first match. And of course, it is for the NXT Tag Team Champions for the first time defending their tag team titles, the Creed brothers, Julius Creed and Brutus Creed, taking on Edis Edofe and Malik Blade. Now, both we saw last week leading up to this match, they were, both Edofe and Blade were congratulating the Creed brothers. They were celebrating, and the Creed brothers did a nice friendly gesture. You know what? We would defend our honor to defend the titles against you guys. Roderick Strong did not like it. He was upset. He goes, "What are you doing? This is not charity." Now, before we get to that match, what was your thought on that promo between them?
It was, good. I mean, I like I said, I think that the Diamond Mine should be faces realistically. I mean, because there's no other face faction that's there. So, I just think that realistically, I don't know where they're going with Roderick Strong, but I just think he should just suck up and be a face.
Okay, a little resistance from Roderick Strong. Before the match, we see Roderick Strong, Damien Kemp, Ivy. Now we're watching the match from backstage. The match starts. Let me tell you, that match, the crowd being in attendance, we were on fire with that, seeing them defending their tag titles. one thing I wanted to say that as soon as Brutus comes out with a T-shirt, flips it to the crowd, and right to the hands of my wife. Thank you, Julius, for Brutus actually for tossing the T-shirt, Diamond Mine T-shirt, right in the hands to the Jedi home to the wife, and it was cool. It was good to see them there, up there in person. The suplexes, the action, and Blade and Nofe. You know, Nofe is going to be a star. He is going to be polished star, and also Blade, Malik Blade. You could see they're real young, wet behind the ears, especially Blade. But all in all, they worked really well as a tag team. I was very, very surprised and very happy to see them, two young competitors in the ring, tagging in and out, crisp, and also Inofe has so much strength. And of course, the Key brothers with that amateur wrestling background did a phenomenal job. You know, and remember, folks, full disclosure, I mention it week after week. NXT is a developmental wrestling league. They're learning how to cut promos. They're learning how to take the bumps. Also, capitalize the crowd, live audience, as well as for those watching on the USA Network. It's not going to be well oiled, but I tell you what, there was no botches in this match. No botches. Yes, where they kept it simple to a degree. There was some good suplexes and good moves. So those that are trying to look for high end and acai moonsaults and all that other stuff, go watch Raw and all the other higher programs. These are developed. This is I always say it, and I always made that disclosure. Put yourself in the shoes. If you were first time wanted to be in the wrestling business, you finally get all the physical attributes, and you're now going to make your debut. And this is what you're in. This is what NXT is. You're going to make your debut now. Okay, kid, you practiced, you warmed up. Now you're going to go into the ring, and this is what NXT platform provides. And those 4 competitors in that ring, they did a good job. That match, me personally, if you want to give it a 8 out of 8, I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10 or a B plus in my deal. What's your thoughts on that match and the way the whole storyline with both of these tag teams coming together?
I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, like I said, I do like the Creeds, and they really sold me on their tag team reign so far. Even though it was just their first title defense, I do think that they actually, towards the end of the match, there was kind of like a small botch, but it wasn't noticeable. When I think it was Julius, when Julius tried to lift up, I think it was either a no-fair or Blade. I'm not sure which one it was. But he couldn't get up all the way, and then it just didn't look very good. But they still won with the unnecessary lariat. So
right, and also during different parts of the match, Blade, and Malik Blade is the younger one of both of this tag team. And you could see that he looks like a young kid, and the way he just lifted Brutus and planted him before tagging Inofe with a driving elbow they almost had a near fall on that. They sold it. That was really good. I was in the crowd. We were excited. Opening match, it was phenomenal. And then when Julius got the hot tag and he came in there, brute, and he ran over Inofe with a pair of forearms and rebounded to a drop. His drop kicks are getting better and better week after week, and I really appreciate that from all 4 competitors. I remember seeing Blade and Inofe a couple weeks when I first started getting into NXT more often. I said, let me take a look at these kids. They're young. You could tell they were wet behind the ears. And as week transpire, all in all, I really liked it. It was, the matches were good. You had a couple back and forth near falls by all 4 teams. You saw a lot of athleticism, the youth, and hopefully with the good coaching that they have in NXT in the Performance Center, they're going to get better. There's always, they could always get better. And especially the Creed brothers as a tag team and playing up the crowd. They had us engaged, and we were chanting, we were cheering. And you know what? Although despite, Julius Creed caught Blade with a super side suplex and a running clothesline and of course that big brute for a Brutus win. All in all, they really did not look bad. Adolphe and Blade were not squashed. This was a competitive match, especially for a title defense match. I can't stop raving. And for an opening match, I'm very excited and very happy to be part of that. And sky's the limit for both tag teams.
Yes, dude.
All right, so we'll move on next to any other stuff with Diamond Club before we move on with any other observations or anything.
Yeah. Well, there was a segment. I think it was either after the match or later in the show where they are backstage, and I think Ivy now is talking to, I can't think of what her name is right now.
Taxon Plaxi.
Tatum Paxley. No,
Tatum Plaxi.
Yeah, Tatum Paxley. And she says something to her, and then Roderick Strong comes in and says, "What are you doing? You were on her heels a couple weeks ago," and then the Creeds come in, and the Creeds say that they got them a match next week. But then Roderick Strong says he can't because his ankle was still not 100%. And then Ivy says no excuses. So Roderick's like, okay.
Yeah, it looks like they're that back and forth friendly or unfriendly ripple. It looks like Roderick Strong looks like he talks the tough talk, but he's not walking the walk. And who knows? It might lead down the road. Maybe Diamond Mine kicking Roderick Strong out, and that could be his departure, or I don't know. It'd be interesting there. And by the way, Ivy Niles was telling her to put in the work, strong. Don't get discouraged. Support and continue working hard. And that's when Roderick Strong said, "Wait, you just buried her. You just destroyed her a couple of weeks ago. Now you're giving her these kind of encouragement. You squashed her. So." I see what they're doing. They're telling a storyline. They're making it seem like Diamond Mine is there for encouragement. And of course you saw the Creed giving Enofe and Blade that tag title opportunity. If you want it, come get it, because we are a Diamond. We're the excellence. We're the group of excellence, and if you want a piece of us, we know because we're on top, and that's what they're trying to project here with Diamond Mine. And I personally love the face aspect of the Diamond Mine, but I want to see. But there's always a rotten apple in every core, and that looks like it's going to be strong, and we'll see where it goes with that there. But all in all, Creed brothers were over with us, in person. Big guys, they look impressive. Are they ready for main roster? Not yet. They still need some NXT. Well, anyway, they just got the tag title runs. Let them go on a nice little, dominant of the tag division, get better. I'm pretty sure that match with the Viking Raiders really helped them elevate. You could tell the way they controlled the match with Dolph and Blade were good. And all in all, we enjoy watching the others keep on and defending those tag titles. So we move on here to the next match. It was Tiffany Stratton versus Fallon Henley. Tiffany Stratton, after that loss last week in the women's to Roxanne Perez and the women's final, she's back in the ring here. All in all, it was like, let's put these two ladies out there to entertain the crowd. The match was okay match. There was a little bit, at times it got a little bit tiny sloppy with Philly, when Henley, of course, I don't know. It was a good match because, let's face it, whenever you see Tiffany Stratton, and this is me being biased, I'm a fan. She's got the WWE women's look that McMahon looks for, of course, and she's really athletic with her somersaults and flips. But I think she still needs a little more. So she don't project confidence yet in the ring. Like, she's got the ability and the athleticism, but there's like something that when she wants to do a certain moves or control the match, she has a little bit of doubt. I would love for her to work with, like the way Cora Jade had a nice program with Natalia, something along the line with a veteran lady who get in there with her to help her and control the match and guide her. But all in all, the match was a little bit, it was a little sloppy. Let's be honest with you. I can't sugarcoat it. We want to be. It was a little sloppy. With it. And then out of nowhere, we see a distracted Tiffany Stratton, and we see someone hopping along, and of course it was Wendy Chu. Wendy Chu in a bouncing ball. The gimmick. I get the gimmick with Wendy Chu, and I get it. There's also young kids that they're catering to, young kids and little girls. Of course, in the audience, there was a lot of youngsters as well, and they like seeing Wendy Chu, and I get the aspect of it. Some folks that are saying, "Oh, that is so corny," Wendy Chu, oh my God, it's nonsense. It's not, and wrestling is not only for adults. It's also catered. Please remember that. Have that open mind. Wrestling is also catered for us, for young children. Remember, we were children as well when we saw the Macho Man take on the George the Animal Steel, in wrestling, and chasing Miss Elizabeth, that storyline. Hulk Hogan, especially once we get older, Bret the Hitman Hart and so forth, giving that, and not wrestling, and that's the problem. We tend to lose that essence, that we think that WWE or any wrestling or has to cater to us as adults with adult themes, but in the long run, it's a wrestling. It's for children. And they want the children to watch it because they're the future of watching wrestling, future viewing audience, and they gotta cater to it. So, all in all, what's your thoughts, Samurai, on the Tiffany Stratton, Fallon Henley match and with the Wendy Chu? Do you get it, or do you think or are you in that part that says, "Oh, enough with the Wendy Chu gimmick"?
It's kind of a double-edged sword because I like Wendy Chu, but I don't like her gimmick. I mean, she went. I'm gonna be honest with you. She went from being serious, when she was with Boa and Xia Li, as I can May what's her name, Mei Ying, because she was that power behind that, and then now she's changed to this playful character. It just doesn't make any sense. Because I know that she can be serious when she wants to be,
and she is a good wrestler.
She is.
Are you okay with the WWE? I know you don't like the gimmick, but do you understand, or do you think it's okay for them to cater to your younger a younger audience with the Wendy Chu, with the sleepy character, with the pillow, with the little shenanigans, with the like Home Alone-ish type of Dennis the Menace type of antics?
I'm okay with it. I understand where they're going with it. I just don't understand why it sometimes can be too much,
Right, and sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to say to Warren Mallow, it's something different. The kids will love it. I agree with you. That's why, and I'll let you finish in a second here, Samurai. So you need to interrupt. That's why that's why we have to have an open mind when we watch wrestling. Remember, we were kids, and this is why we love. And right now, we, as an older adult with two of my own that are already 20-year-olds, they love wrestling because they watched it as a kid and they fell in love because dad was watching it. My grandfather showed me wrestling when I was a kid. And I loved it as an adult, and I understand that it doesn't have to cater always to me as an adult, and I appreciate it. Okay, Samurai, I apologize. I just wanted to get with that angle.
You're fine. I like I said, I get it. I get where they're going with it. I don't hate the character. It's just the gimmick is it can be a little bit too much sometimes.
I can see as an adult we're like, oh come on, but I get it. I think it was funny, the shenanigans, but it was such a distraction that they threw out confetti, and it was a rainbow color confetti. Of course, in Orlando, Florida, where we're from, they were celebrating Pride Month, and of course the confetti was, I guess it was a celebration, no problem, and it got Tiffany Stratton so frustrated, so crazy that she got pinned, and I was like, okay, I get it, I got it. The match, I wish the match was more cleaner, more crisp, but and it's just, I think with Tiffany is she's got to know how to take control of, and she's not in the ring with a seasoned wrestler either, because and they're both uncertain, but it looked sloppy. And personal, I watched it on TV yesterday, and it looked much better on television. Of course, camera angles and editing looked really good match. But in person, it wasn't that good of a match. I'm gonna tell you the straight. I'm gonna not sugarcoat it. I'm gonna tell you straight up. It was sloppy, all in all. But now we've seen that 22 was gonna have a feud with Tiffany. That's gonna be the next feud, which I'm okay. You know, Barbie doll, lollipop Barbie doll, pretty girl, daddy's rich girl, and they're gonna get against the Wendy Chu with Dennis the Menace. It's gonna be fun. Because you know, there's young little girls that like Tiffany Stratton. They love Roxanne Perez. They like now Wendy Chu is popular. A lot of Wendy Chu ladies, young ladies, t-shirts. So I get it. You know what? I applaud NXT on that because they're developing. Remember, they're developing storylines and character. Now, is it going to hit in the main roster? Wendy Chu, probably not, but she's learning how to extrapolate her talents in different characters. You put her in a different assets. When she gets in the main roster, she knows how to placate to the younger lady. The same way Bianca Belair, she touches every little girl's heart. There's a lot of young little girls that want to be like Bianca Belair. You know that at the EST and I'm getting that. That's the development of character that they're doing in different assets with Wendy Chu. So I like that. I'm excited with it. I get it. I have the open mind for it, and I wish these critics that go in different have their own podcast will also see it and not just crap on it just to get a couple of people reaction for super chats. I mean, super chat, of course, we make money with the super chats, but tell it what's going on behind them. Take the mask off. It's not, but I digress. We'll move on. To me personally, we saw a couple of promos. We saw the, Apollo Crews cut a promo about what NXT means to him, which was good. It's good to see an Apollo in NXT. I'm glad that he's there. He's going to be doing really well there, in my opinion. And also, we saw Last Legend taking down Alba Fire, taking her for her spotlight. Then they focus on each other's athletic history. They're setting up that big clash. We saw Last Legend beat her up last week on NXT in the ramp. And they're setting up a feud with these two ladies. Alba Fire, let me tell you, watching her in person, the crowd loves her. We all love her in NXT. Her intro coming in with the bat, the fire, the crowd was chanting, from This Girl's on Fire, and we're like, Alba's on fire. It was beautiful, Samurai. I wish you were there in person because you would have appreciated it.
Oh well, hey, I always appreciate a good fire. Yeah, I was looking at the comments, and he basically hit the nail on the head with what he said. You'll see it.
Yeah, let's highlight it. It says not a fan of it, but it's kind of like Nikki Cross being a superhero. NXT is focusing on just character based only in the ring ability, but it helps entertain an aspect better. You know what? Perfect comment, right on the money. I loved it. Thank you, Warren. Good comment, and also. Yes, Apollo Crews has helped the NXT ticket sale. They're touring right now up and down the whole Florida coast. And of course, they do their taping. They do it in Orlando in the Performance Center. And, of course, that helps their ticket sales up and down. I was tempted to go into Largo on Friday to see it. Also, they're going to do one in Orlando. And I probably go see that one. I probably pay, it's only $25 to go. It's not an expensive venue. You go in there and you're right there. It's very intimate. You get to see the wrestlers. You get to even speak with them. Two dimes, fist bump with two dimes, bomb breaker. It's a really nice experience to go in NXT. You really like if you're in the Florida area, and if you're visiting on vacation and you're here before that Tuesday, go Monday, sign up to their Facebook page, put yourself on the list. They'll tell you to come in. You go and you go watch NXT. It's totally free. It's totally free for the NXT live. And you'll have fun. It's a really good crowd. WWE does everything in order, and good show. So I advise that comes to the Orlando area to check it out. And we'll move on here to one of the matches that I was looking forward to when I heard it, when I was in the arena, because we spoke about it and we know the feud was Wes Lee versus Xyon Quinn. I got excited personally because I think Xyon Quinn, he's been in NXT for about a year or so or more, has the look. He has the physique, the look, and ring ability. And then Wes Lee is on fire too as a singles competitor. And I'm like, I can't wait. We saw that Quinn got injured, and they couldn't get this match going. They finally got it going. Quinn walked into the ring so confident. You could see that he's feeling it. He's in another level. He's taking his wrestling gimmick and microphone skill. Next week you'll see what I'm talking about, and so forth. Phenomenal. What's your thought on when you heard the match, and what's your thoughts on the match before we tell the winner?
Well, I mean, like I said before, it all comes down to chemistry, and they had the chemistry that But believe it or not, like it's like almost like a David versus Goliath kind of situation, but not really. They just had that chemistry to burn the barn down, so to speak.
Yeah, I was really excited. The match it didn't go long though. One thing about it, the match wasn't a long match. I would have liked at least 20 minutes if you wanted to, but I understand that it was a long night anyway, so I understand that. And to my surprise, Wes Lee got the victory on Xyon Quinn. I was like, whoa. I kind of expected Xyon Quinn to win, and I got Wes Lee to win, and trust me, I'm not mad with it either. That 50-50 booking, I was okay with either one who would have won, but I personally, I thought, you know what? Wes Lee is like finding himself. He's now in single competition. He's with Sanga, he had an issue with him, and he has like angry issue. And you'll see next week what I'm talking about, without making any spoilers. And he got the victory, and I was like, good for him. And I was excited. I was happy for Wes Lee.
Yeah, Wes Lee is great. I mean, it's unfortunate that his partner got released, but that they should never release him to begin with. But that's a different story for another day.
No, we'll be speaking about that next week, my friend. A little spoiler alert. Yes, Warren. I hope you enjoy that Jacksonville card. You're gonna have fun. Definitely, for the little ones, if you have the little ones, if you go a little early, or even after the event is over, they will come and they will actually take pictures, and they will actually have to take the time out for your little ones, and they show that they care. You're gonna trust me, and it's not being biased. I'm not being a mark. WWE does not pay me, and I just telling you what I'm telling you from my personal experience. You're gonna love it. On that, and definitely in Jacksonville, you're gonna have fun. Yeah, and next week they'll not to give a spoiler, they will speak about all this stuff with Wes Lee, and Wes Lee, he's gonna take his talents to another level next week. You're going to be in a treat. You're gonna have a treat on that one.
Awesome.
And looks like Wes Lee's picking up stream as I take a moment here to call.
We're having technical difficulties here, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm coming off of a cold, and that's why. So tell us a little more about Wes Lee and his tag team partner, as I get situated.
Well, basically, what happened is Wes Lee and Nash Carter, they were basically a tag team, and when Wes Lee was not Wes Lee, but when Nash Carter was terminated, basically for unfair reasons, he just got like derailed. His momentum was gone, and then he brought it back magically. It's like magic.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll find out more next week. We saw a promo in the back. We had Sanga. He had Yulisa Lyons, Valentina Perez. They were sitting there, looking like a stud. That he is in the backstage with the two beautiful ladies talking to him, and Xyon Quinn comes irate, and they got almost into a big tussle there. It looks like that's the next feud setting up there, and of course, now let me tell you something, Zanga. That's what Veer Mahan should be doing in the WWE in the main roster. That Sanga role, that role of him with the two beautiful ladies in the back and in a suit, even with the little funny mustache. That's what Veer Mahan needs to be. Not that Neanderthal that looks like a Muppet, that looks cross-eyed, that doesn't look like he doesn't know how to eat with a fork and knife. like like a brute. That's what they need to do with Veer Mahan, man. They're missing it. I like the character Sangha. I really do, but I wish they would have done it with Veer Mahan and Raw, man. That's so unfortunate.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I do think that Greer needs to take a page out of Sanga's book and, I guess, man up.
Yeah, look. Play the stud. Put that stud. And he's an Indian descent, tall, dark, and handsome. He's using that to his knowledge. I wish they would have done that with him, but we'll move on from that. There, we get to see the Dilads with Joe Gacy finally making their ring debut as a tag team against Dante Chen and Javier Bernal. Javier. Now, everyone was cheering for Javier. I didn't even know the last name until I read the thing. Everyone, I said, look, it's Javi. It's Javi. So the crowd was going crazy for Javi. This match was weird. Let me tell you, it was weird. I'm expecting, all right, we're going to see who these Dyads are. They're going to take their masks. They're going to take their robes off. We're going to see ring attire. And they fought in that velvet robe. And believe me, and we're in Central Florida, and it is warm. It was in the mid upper 80s, and it was warm, and of course the arena's air conditioned. But with a velvet robe, wrestling, good luck. It was like, wow, God bless you guys. And all in all, they weren't sloppy either. They didn't do nothing to rag home about, but it wasn't a sloppy match. We knew. I know I mentioned there was a kid, gentleman with his little daughter, and I said, boy, this smells like a squash. And he started laughing. It is. And exactly what it was. Although Javi did do some moves, we cheered for Javi. And what's your thoughts on the Dilads? Do you think it's something that's going to stick, or do you think they're going to eventually reveal who they are and people are going to know maybe it's some guy from indie wrestling or something? What's your thoughts?
I mean, realistically, I think that they need to not wrestle with the velvet hood and the velvet and the robe and stuff, because that doesn't look comfortable. I do think that they're going to this should reveal who they are. I mean, they can still be known as the Dyad, but give them a personality, or give them a name. Like they need names. They can't just be known as the Dyad. They have to have individual names.
Yeah. And one time there, I was trying to get a chant going. What is that, velvet? But I yelled it out, and I got a creepy look from Joe Gacy. I was like, ooh, that guy is creepy. He plays, let me tell you something, Joe Gacy plays the role really, really good. And he just looked at me and he gave me that creepy smile. I'm like, ooh, boy. I said, you know what? I don't even feel like yelling that no more. He actually in character. That look, that creepy look that Joe Gacy. Now, let me ask you a question. Is Joe Gacy turning into a manager, or do you think he's going to wrestle at times and just be with them?
I think it's going to be, I guess, vice versa. It's going to be him wrestling and being like a sort of a manager to the Dyad, like, because he can do both.
Yeah, we'll see. And speaking, we'll move on from that. We'll watch where Joe Gacy and his feud goes next. No one has stepped up, or they haven't presented his next feud or targets. It looks like more he's going to concentrate on the tag team, getting his Dyads going before he picks up a feud there. And we move on. Speaking of a guy who's like a manager and a ring competitor, we have a promo with Tony D'Angelo promoting his soldiers now. They're no longer soldiers. They're going to be main men, or vice versa. They're going to be into the soldier family. And of course, we saw Tony D'Angelo give 2 dimes and stacks some nice Rolexes. Of course, they were accompanied to the ring by Legado de Fantasma with Joaquin Wild and Cruz and Santo Escobar. You saw, I love it. We all know the news that Stu Stacks no longer in the NXT. That's Troy Donovan, no longer. He's wellness policy. And when I was watching the video last night, and I saw Tony D'Angelo give him an envelope full of cash, he says, "Hey, don't spend it. Go get yourself a steak dinner." And I go, don't spend it all, kid. You're gonna need to save it. I feel so bad for him, man, because I met him there a couple times in NXT. Really nice kid, even though he's a heel. But when he leaves, when he goes around the ring, he gives you a pound. So I'm backstage. Very nice kid, really nice guy. Really awesome. It's sad to see him no longer there, and especially when we see that when we go back to the next typing and he's not going to be there, it's going to be kind of sad not to see him. But those are the breaks. But all in all, that promo, of course, you see telling the Legado de Fantasma to keep. They got to know how to keep their mouth shut, and he's trying to show them that he's the boss, and then they get interrupted by Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. The Don mentioned before that. The Don mentioned that he's the Don, but he has no title, no gold, and he's looking to add gold to his staple, to himself. And out comes Carmelo and Trick Williams. What's your thoughts on that? Like, did you see that for the North American title? I thought Tony D'Angelo would probably will try to go for the Bron Breakker, the world title. I thought that was pleasant.
That was always in the plans. I mean, Carmelo. I'm not even sure what Carmelo is at this point. Is he a heel? Is he a face? I don't know. But I definitely know that Tony D and the family are heels, I think. But yeah, that's why they did it, because like they want Carmelo to have opponents, and none other than Tony D and the Don. He's gonna lose that title eventually. We don't know when. It could be at Bash the Beach. I don't know.
Yeah, Ambassador Beach. Carmelo Hayes is scheduled to take on Solo Sikoa for the North American title. But next week, it's going to be challenge accepted. Carmelo Hayes taking on Tony D'Angelo for the North American title. The winner goes on to fight Solo Sikoa in Bash at the Beach. So it's stipulation. The winner of that match gets to go on and take on Solo Sikoa. All in all, I'm going to tell you two things here on this one. Being there in person, Trick Williams, he is awesome on the microphone. That guy could cut a promo, rebuttal, play to the crowd. The crowd calls him ball boy. They give him heat, and he gives it back to the crowd. And let me tell you, Trick Williams, he could speak it. He has the physique, the look, and the charisma to be on that mic and cut promos. His wrestling ability, it's okay. I've seen him wrestle a couple times. Maybe he needs that more seasoning for that. He also got the height. Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes, you know what? I can't gush anymore about Carmelo Hayes. He is awesome. In-ring competitor. He's got that, right now, one thing about NXT that I like, they don't have no fear. They don't mind putting heel versus heel. Face versus face. They because the crowd is so split, they want to see the crowd gets it. Let's get some entertaining matches. Let me see, no matter face or heel, I just want to see good matches. And we get good matches in NXT. And that's why the crowd is 50-50. They cheer and hey, you get cheer, and the only person that don't get the 50-50 cheer, and only one person cheers for him, is poor Van Wagner. I'm the only Van Wagner fan. That's it. Everyone else is booing him. They can't stand him. And Grayson Waller, oh my God! But he has a few cats that like Grayson Waller. But my point is, they don't mind putting face versus face, heel versus heel. And I like Carmelo Hayes. He's got the look. And next week, I'm telling you, that's going to be a good match.
Yeah, I can already see it. Carmelo Hayes is good, but like Tony D'Angelo's somewhat slightly better. Although we know who's going to win that match.
Well, I'm no spoiler, but remember, the winner gets to go to Bash at the Beach on the July 5th to take on Solo Sikoa. Now, next we have the World Heavyweight Champion, NXT Champion Bron Breakker takes on Duke Hudson. Of course, you saw Duke Hudson has been tantalizing, bothering, messing around with Bron Breakker, wanted to get in the ring, and we finally get it. Duke tries to sneak attack Bron as before the opening belt starts. Now, this match, the highlight was hearing Bron Breakker's intro, getting psyched up for him coming to the ring. Pretty much, if you want to say without saying squash, this was kind of a squash, but this is what you want your heavyweight champion to be. You know, people are complaining that he's a lackluster heavyweight champion, like his title range is nothing exciting. Well, the way he took out Duke Hudson was impressive. I mean, it was a pretty thorough match, quick match with the power bomb, the suplexes. Bron Breakker has the it factor, and pretty much that's what that match was. It was a quick, you know, showcasing your champion with some power and display and clean match, and I loved it.
Yes, I tend to agree with you there. I mean, Duke Hudson, though, although Duke Hudson shouldn't be getting squashed like that, but you know he's too good to. I think he could be one of the people that could join Max Dupree.
You know, I didn't think about that. You know what? I didn't think about that. That was a good call there. I didn't think about that, and you know, maybe because after that squash match, you don't see no more. And he leaves, and then lo and behold, Duke Hudson leaves. You know, it was a complete squash, and we get a music change. We get all of a sudden interruption here, and here comes Cameron Grimes coming out, and he interrupts, and of course he goes on and putting a promo that his father, who is Bron Breakker's father. Guess face it, he's got that title because of his dad. And no one knows his father, and we having some daddy issues there. And it's setting up that Grimes wants a title shot at Bron Breakker. It looks like we're setting up a new feud here between both of these two competitors. And of course, that is the famous picture. He was on his way cutting that promo. I'm sitting there, and he's coming up the stairs, and I was like, okay, Cameron Grimes. I don't know. Some people are complaining. Why does he? And I heard it in other places. Oh, why does Cameron Grimes get to challenge for the world champion? He just lost the North American champion. Because that's what you do. You move on to a newer goal. You conquer. You were the North American champion. You lost it. Okay, you go get a higher prestige belt, and that's what the title. That's what you do, and that's what Cameron Grimes is doing. I think he's kind of like playing that tightrope of a heel face, but he's telling people the way it is. He's telling the truth, you know, and I like it. I like this new Cameron Grimes. He says, you know what? Forget about the cast phases. Let's get this feud. Let's take it all the way to the moon. I loved it.
I concur with you there. I mean, like, I feel like Cameron Grimes, he is more than ready for the main roster, but you know, I don't think they want to put one up there yet. So he'll be a really good contender for Walter in SmackDown in the Intercontinental Championship.
Yep, and I hope this matches with Bron Breakker. We get some legendary stuff, some real good classics. I hope that program between them. It don't matter who wins, in my opinion. If Bron loses and Cameron wins. But I want something classic. I want some instant classics, some matches that were like, whoa, you know, so salute. Earl, would you like to join us, Earl? Give me a thumbs. Let me know if you want to join us and get on the NXT with us here, Mr. Earl Cole, and we break down here. So we'll move on there. We will see what's going on with Grimes. We'll see, you know, how that develops. And then later on, we saw also a backstage. You know, you see Adolphus and Blade ready to leave, talking about, let's go for the club. Let's get ready to go. And you see Grimes stops them and told both men, especially Adolphus, that he has superior talent. He has the look for everything I mentioned, but he doesn't have the hunger. And worrying about the club and going there and worrying instead of getting, how can I win and get better? And it shows that he's being like that type of realistic heel type of move. Like, he's gonna tell you as it is, what he's gonna tell you what you don't want to hear, and tell you like a mirror. I loved it because that's what, you know, it kind of speaks to an oldersman telling a young man, you know, hey, you're good, but don't get too cocky, kid. And I loved it. I love that promo in the back from Grimes.
Yeah. I do like I said before we started. I do think that Kevin Grimes does get them to open up, um, you know, embrace the dark side, so to speak. You know, I want them to because they are really good, and you don't want them to get tossed by the wayside.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I loved it. So we'll move on from that here, as we're getting close here. We finally get the debut. The big debut with Giovanni Vinci. He took Guru Raya. Da Vinci finally makes it there, formerly known as Fabian Archer. And when he came out, I didn't watch Imperial, so I'm not too familiar with Imperial. I know you mentioned to me, knowing thanks to you, telling me about Imperial, Gunther, and company, Walter, and everyone else part of it. He looked the part. Of course, he shaved his head. I look back at some old pictures. He looks good. He looks good. Personally, I saw him wrestle, and I said to myself, is he just here just to warm up, just a warm up match? And I won't be surprised if next week or coming up he doesn't return back to NXT. He goes right to the main roster to be Max Dupree's model, because he looks clean cut. His body's physique is good. He checks the boxes of what Vince McMahon looks for in a wrestler, and the male model situation, he fit well. And I'm like, he could wrestle. You saw the power bomb. Tell me about the match there and what you thought, because you've seen him as Fabian Eichner, and then tell me and what you see here in this Giovanni persona that debut.
Well, it's basically it's like looking in a mirror with between Fabian Eichner and Giovanni Vinci. I mean, they're like two sides of the same coin. You know, they have he has a speed. He hasn't gotten any worse in the ring. He's gotten better, actually. But I do think that when he was with the Imperium, that he actually didn't. He did have to work, not all at work. But that's just me. I watched him back I've watched him since 2016 when he was in the Cruiserweight Classic. So I know more about him than anybody else. Like, he's athletic. He's got a perfect moonsault. He's strong. He's deceptively strong, actually. But he hit his power bomb, the spinning power bomb, which he hasn't really hit at all. So I mean, it didn't look really good, but he hit it. Like the way he didn't even get over his head all the way, but it was still effective.
Everyone in the crowd loved it. Everyone liked it. Everyone knew who it was. It was fun to see it, and he needs a manager. Like, they're like, maybe he might not have the charisma, but I thought he was fine. I'm okay with it. I liked it. I think, if he stays in NXT, I want to see where it goes. And if he goes to SmackDown, if we see him debut Friday in SmackDown with Max Dupree, I'm fine with it as well, because I liked it. I think he's got it. I think he's got that look, and he doesn't have to cut promos. He can have a manager, a mouthpiece in Raw or SmackDown, and you're telling a story. And boy, it'll be interesting to see in the coming weeks to see where they go with that. I'm already a fan. I saw his in-ring ability. It was good. It was great, and we shall see where it goes on from there. We saw backstage Grayson Waller interrupt Solo Sikoa and talked his way into a match next week. Grayson Waller versus Solo Sikoa next week, and that's going to be a surprising match next week. No spoilers, but it's going to be a good one. And then we have the tag team, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams taking on Stack and my main man, Tony Two Dimes. Of course, coming to the ring by the Don of NXT, of course, Cruz del Toro and his partner on the corners. They come in, they stand on the side with the Legado of the Family on the side of the ring. And, of course, you had Santo there as well. the match was really good. They wanted uh, Legado to cheat and try to help take over the match and do their tactics, but it didn't work out. Carmelo Hayes, smart move, and he moved out of the way, and Cruz del Toro accidentally caught Stacks with a crossbody. And Melo won with a diving axe kick, and of course you see a little distension and disruption between these guys. Last week we saw Nathan Frazier with a big victory on Santo Escobar with the help of distraction of the Tony D'Angelo facet. So, do you like this situation that's playing between these two?
The internal turmoil, the internal turmoil. Yes, I love it because it's I predicted this when it happened because you kind of see where they're going with it. They're slowly turning Santos Escobar and Legado del Fantasma in the faces, which they, I don't know how I feel about it, but I mean I like the makeup of the group. I feel like it's going to implode internally. So,
and they're over. The crowd in NXT love Legado del Fantasma. As soon as they come out, they're all chanting Legado. They love it. Everyone in the arena goes crazy for them. They're over. And we'll see. It'd be interesting now with the aspect that Dimes is no longer part of and he's not. I want to see how the creative writing is going to say. Did he leave? Do they write off Erica Lopez as well and say that he ran off with her, or something happened that he's missing and maybe Legado de Fantasma, got rid of him? Who knows? What storyline? It'd be interesting to see in a couple of weeks what storyline they're going to build in with disappearance. He took the money, or he was an agent, undercover agent that was hiding and trying to infiltrate. Who knows? It's NXT. Hopefully they have fun with it. With the way they're going to put it up there. It'll be interesting to see that. But I was surprised, Williams, Hayes both getting the victory, and of course they're telling us there's a story. There's a story being told there, and I loved it. And then you could see that Santo Escobar couldn't hide smiling after the Don men lost. It was funny. He was just laughing and laughing and laughing. It was hilarious. I liked it. I really enjoyed that. Whenever Tony D'Angelo gets on the mic and in any promos is phenomenal. Of course, Legado de Fantasma, they're the it facet in their NXT, and I loved it. So we leave it to the main event time. Main event for last night, the 14th of June, was Toxic Attraction taking on Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, and Indi Hartwell in the 6-woman tag. We saw Mandy Rose come out with Toxic Attraction during their entrance. I saw the ladies. It was a good match. A good, clean 6-woman match, back and forth. All in all, until the ending of the match, we saw Cora Jade going for a Swanton splash. Was it?
Yes. Yes.
That hit Gigi on the side, that knocked the wind out of her. Me being in the front row, we heard Gigi scream. It didn't come off on TV, but Gigi let out a yell. Ah! It was like, whoa, what that? We knew right there, it was not scripted. And Gigi was holding her side really bad. And Roxanne, if you can't see it in the camera, she's facing us, the crowd, and she puts a worried face, don't know what to do, and then she just goes and pins Gigi softly, and the match ends. Now Gigi stays in the ring with the referee. They're tending to her while Toxic Attraction walks Mandy Rose and Jace. They walk to the Tron, and they didn't know that she got hurt. You could see them whispering and telling them she got hurt, and they went back to her. And of course, us as the fans, we gave her a strong ovation, a strong hand. Of course, they went away to commercial, and they showed the ladies, Cora Jade and Indi and Roxanne in the main ramp. And of course, they attended to her, and she came out later on because they spoiler, they pre-taped 2 shows back to back, and she was fine. She was okay. Just got the wind knocked out of her. It was scary because she really let out a yell like, oh. and it was up a little bit scary there, because you're being so close and you hear the screaming. It's like, whoa, something, it looked, I thought at first, I thought it was broken ribs. I was like, oh, they broke her ribs. Ugh, that's going to be some agony and pain. But all in all, it was just the wind knocked out of her. They caught her in a certain way. But the match was fine until that scare. What's your thoughts? How did it look on TV?
What? I'm sorry.
How did the match look on TV?
It was good. It was, everything was, fluid and solid. It was out of my face. It was pretty good. The only thing I didn't understand was I didn't see her pin her. I mean, I saw her pin her softly, but I didn't see her necessarily where she got hurt per se. Like it just didn't. It didn't. It didn't look like a botched senton. That's what I'm going. Where I'm going with it.
I looked at it again, and it wasn't that much of. It's like because Cora Jade is bony, she's awfully thin and bony, and it could be that her hip bone must have caught Gigi in the side pelvic on the side of her abdominal, and that's what caused that scream, that belt. Like that's what it was, because she's not heavy, but it's just bony, and would just hit the right area, and the solar plex could just really knock the wind out of you. And I think that's what happened with Gigi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is because like you watch it back, and you don't really see where it went wrong.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You're kind of the comments.
All in all, it was good. I really enjoyed NXT. That first taping. Of course, we had to stay for the next one. It was a really good NXT 2.0. The matches, the storyline. Again, like I tell everyone, this is a developmental wrestling league. These are young men and women that are learning the wrestling game. They're learning how to be in-ring competitors. They're learning how to tell a story, also perform for us, a live audience, as well as audience on television. And they want to captivate us, entertain us, and get the roll of the crowd while doing their job in the ring as competitors. We're not botching moves. And there was not many botches. Yes, was there a couple sloppy matches? Yes, there were. We mentioned them as our review. But all in all, it was very entertaining, very fun. As a audience member, I enjoyed it. I got up, applaud every one of those moves, the chops, the all the moonsaults, all the suplexes, all the arm bars, everything, even the introduction, the plantering and the plantering back and forth with the crowd, with us working us over. They did their job. And NXT, that's what you want. You're learning. They're learning this. And like I said, if you want to see professional wrestling without no botches, please go watch AEW, NXT, TNT, and that's that. And you can watch TNA, and you can watch that. But this is developmental. You have to have an open mind. You have to put yourself and identify yourself like if you're the wrestler wrestling for the very first time, as we get Samurai back in. So, what was your thoughts on the whole and all NXT last night 2.0?
I'm going to give it a B minus.
Okay. I get that's a good grade. Good solid grade there. It was a good show, and I enjoyed it. You're going to enjoy next week as well. Next week is, again, it's going to be a really good show. It's good. You're going to enjoy it. The matches, the whole storyline. So you're going to see certain wrestlers that you didn't think of. Without being spoiler, take the microphone and cut a nice promo. I was really impressed with it. I was very happy with it. And you're going to see it, and you guys are going to enjoy it there. That is our NXT coverage. We got a few more minutes before we got to get going. We didn't get to do SmackDown because I was a little under the weather. All in all, we're not going to review match for match. We're just going to go with the main emphasis of SmackDown last week was we have a new Intercontinental Champion. Formerly NXT, we all knew him as Walter. Now he is known as Gunther. Personally, what's your thoughts on Gunther becoming the new WWE Intercontinental Champion?
I mean, I liked it. I like it. I mean, he deserves something because he's dominant. He has. I mean, the only thing that I don't like is what's Ludwig Kaiser, his he gets no reaction when he comes out. Like if you hear it, there's no reaction. So I
Yeah,
think he should really just realistically stayed as Walter.
I like the Gunther, but Gunther is being introduced to a new audience. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you: if Gunther or Walter gets over with the crowd, circle this date on your calendar, July 15th. July 15th. The reason why July 15th, DX? That is when WWE SmackDown comes to Orlando. And guaranteed, everyone in Orlando knows who is Gunther and Walter. And his partner, Ludwig. Now, if they don't get a big pop, then I know that character isn't really it. Because I think he is going to get a big pop, especially now with the belt, the title. And I think he's going to get into a good pro this week. I was thinking a little bit because we all know this weekend, this Friday night, a couple of days from now, we're going to have the World Unified Champion Roman Reigns making an appearance against Riddle. And we're like, is Riddle really going to win the undisputed heavyweight champion? A lot of folks said no. A lot of folks said maybe. I'm thinking 50-50 booking. I'm thinking I could see a road where they're going to keep the straps to Riddle. And since Roman Reigns is not working until Raw in Madison Square Garden, that's the next time he's going to come out and make an appearance on the 25th of July. I'm saying to myself, maybe Riddle wins, and we want to see champion because ratings are increasing. Folks are talking. People want to see. Also, I said to myself, I thought about it today early at work when I go, you know what? Could it be that Gunther might interfere in this title match and start a program and with Riddle? How are you going to get someone so much pop and heat if a Gunther goes and tries to go after a Riddle and make a name for himself? He's the champion. Riddle's trying to try, and Gunther just continues and being an obstacle for Riddle. What's your thoughts on that one? Or is it too soon?
It works on paper, but then you have to remember that Riddle's on Riddle's on Raw. So I mean, unless they continue to bring him SmackDown, I don't see how it works.
Okay.
You have to, I mean, unless they're slowly getting rid of the brand split, which I hope they do, because like they really don't need it. They unified the tag titles. They unified the world titles. What's next? The women's titles.
Okay, I can see that. But that's what Gunther needs. He needs to go after someone who has a lot of name, who has a recognition, who's who is established superstar. That he's just going to go and just make a pain. Ricochet was good, and Ricochet, but his title reign wasn't so exciting to where he didn't even defend his title on a pay-per-view. So that tells you about his intercontinental title run defense, and he was left off numerous. He wasn't even in WrestleMania. He didn't even defend the IC title in WrestleMania. That's how much it told you, And now with a guy like Gunther, the way he looks, the persona, the promos, the way they get they introduce, you could see that as a pay-per-view, as a heel. You're like, oh my God, I can't stand this Eastern European dude because someone squashed him, and this could set up a next All-American McMahon champion that wants to go out there and try to feud with him, and that's just me thinking outside the box there, because I think Gunther is a good wrestler. And I like it. I'm happy that he got the belt. I'm glad the title. I'm glad that he's the Intercontinental Champion. I think of a heel like his, where I think could actually really is good for what the Intercontinental title needs.
Indeed. As long as it is the workhorse championship for a reason. Now, if he depends on not, I would say weekly, but if he defends it like every once in a while, then I can get behind it. And they need to start booking the champions on pay-per-views, man. That's what I want. We all want the Intercontinental Championship on a pay-per-view. Doesn't matter where it is on the card, as long as it's on the pre-show. But it needs to be on the card somewhere.
And you got a wrestler who could carry that, who has that persona, that look, and could get that heat that is needed to bring that to the. And I'm not saying Ricochet didn't have it. Ricochet is a hell of a wrestler. One of the best there. You know, a fellow Orlando resident like myself is Ricochet, and he just didn't have it for to transpire into a pay-per-view, and hopefully Gunther, you know, could be that wrestler. And I think he is. Remember, July 15th, when we come on the 16th to do the SmackDown review, hopefully we hear the pop of the crowd in Orlando, because guess what? They gave up. I wasn't one of the lucky ones. Maybe there's still time. But I wasn't one of the lucky ones to get VIP or tickets to SmackDown that were giving them out on NXT for fan appreciation, and we just didn't win that. We didn't have the luck that night. We had T-shirts. We just didn't get, it was front row seats. I was like, oh, man, I would love it. You know how would it help the Heal the Ring podcast? I would have T-shirts made, Heal the Ring podcast, for me and my wife when we go in front row in SmackDown on Fox. The very front row, you'll see my fat face there, sitting there and on ringside. It would have been phenomenal. I think it would have been. I'm already in the USA Network, and I mean, it was exciting. And now and Fox, it would have helped the channel and the program immensely. But fingers crossed, they're still giving out free tickets. Hopefully in a couple of weeks in Bachelor Beach when I get there, and hopefully we could get Raw tickets. Hopefully, fingers crossed there. But all in all, we want to thank everyone for the NXT Heal the Ring review. I am BS Sport Jedi Kev. I'm with the Samurai from the Heal the Ring podcast. We thank you guys. I hope you enjoy the program, and we thank you so much for your support and love. And thank you, Hector. We thank you, Warren and Earl. Warren, I hope you have a good time in Jacksonville. Let us know how it goes when you go see NXT in Jacksonville. You're gonna like the NXT program, especially with the ladies. They fight really well. Hopefully Nikita Lyons might return soon. They mentioned, they tease her returning. And anything you want to go put in here, Samurai? Any news or notes that you heard of or anything like that?
No, not really.
All right, so that concludes our program. Once again, you guys have a blessed night. Stay tuned for Yankee watch along baseball with the BX Sport Jedi Kev. The Tampa Bay takes on the New York Yankees. I will be back in about another hour, roughly about an hour to start 7 o'clock for the first pitch, and we'll be back here from me to you. Remember, pin the competition, get over in life. Do not tap out. Always put yourself over it. Always strive for excellence here. And we are the Heel of the Ring podcast. And if you ain't down with that, we got 2 words for you. Just subscribe. We'll see you next time here.
I'm awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might grab a bat, I don't know. My rap, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up. Let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you're gon' wish you had shut the fuck up real bad.
Shut up.
Bye, everybody.